Greetings, fellow decapitated Pillsbury Doughboys. Tiki here.
Blue Dragon 5.
And Sandy Claus.
The source of the decapitated head, and now on me, Jacob Weil, as well.
Oh God, gotta love those in jokes that happen right
Everyone's
before
gonna
we
be
go
so
live.
lost on that one. Out of all the in jokes we've made, I think
Okay,
this one's ranked.
to be fair,
That's what happened before the show.
okay,
at least we've explained it.
Collider Movie Talk does that all the time, where they'll like reference a joke that they made right before they went on air. So it's not anything new. Anyways,
If only Sandy had like a cup of tea with his Mad Hatter hat, so then we get a Howard Hanlon reference. If only.
Tonight we're talking Mr. Banks. Yeah.
I don't have tea, but I do have cranberry juice.
Close enough.
All right.
Is that cranberry juice spiked with anything?
And tonight,
because I never drink cranberry juice unless it's spiked with vodka.
Oh gosh.
So those are the drinking habits of the So You Want to Imagine Air and Tiki Club 32 crew.
and tonight we're talking about
D23.
23.
Oh, the home of the 4-hour line just to enter the building. Oh, isn't it such a joy? And like, I can't think of a single place I'd rather be than in that 4-hour line just to enter the building. Anyways, guys, so a lot of cool announcements coming out of D23. It was mostly on the animation front. Of course, we're going to be having 2 really big panels tomorrow, which we'll be here to break down. We'll be having the Disney live action panel, which is, of course, going to include any juicy Star Wars or Marvel news, as well as, like, you know, the live action remake. So I'm crossing my fingers for some good Lion King tidbits, maybe a casting announcement on Scar, because they pretty much cast everyone else for Lion King. And then also, of course, the big Disney Parks panel, which is, I think, for internet fans, that's probably the thing that everyone looks forward to most every year at D23. But speaking of the Disney parks, we actually got a tease at the D23 events last night, actually, for Star Wars Land. So let me go ahead and screen share this and lock my screen. Guys, we also have an official announcement for the name of Star Wars Land. It's not just Star Wars Land. It's going to be called Galaxy's Edge.
Ooh.
And I really like that a lot because that fits very well with the theme of this planet, which the theme of this planet is basically kind of like it's sort of a Mos Eisley sky. It's basically like a planet. It's basically like a planet-wide Mos Eisley, right? It's like a hive of scum and villainy on the outer rim.
Well, is it specifically modeled after Mos Eisley?
No, it's not modeled. This is a new planet. We haven't seen this planet at all in
But
the
it's
Star Wars movies.
Something like Mos Eisley.
I'm saying the actual atmosphere is going to be something like Mos Eisley, like the whole, like the scum of.
Kind of looks like a big version of the.
From Force Awakens.
No, but what I'm saying is, it kind of looks like a big version of the Trading Post from Disney Hollywood Studios.
Right.
You know what I love about this thing here?
Hmm.
I love how, you know, it looks so nice and peaceful with all the people walking around, but
right.
100 times.
You will never see this land this uncrowded.
No.
Ever.
Like an aerial shot of the park of Star Wars Land. You will never be able to see the ground like we are now.
Oh God. Yeah, exactly. But I distinctly remember the last time I was at Disneyland and like I was able to see the pavement in Adventureland, and that legitimately felt like a cool gimmick. Like, oh, I can actually see the pavement. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Honestly, that'd be a cool way to do a movie. Honestly, if you open like in a theme park is completely abandoned, you kind of have that going for you.
Yeah.
So once this park opens, it truly will be filled with scum and villainy.
Yep. AKA like angry tourists and those dreaded annual pass holders.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. The main thing that draws me to this model is the rock work, because basically the whole parameter of this whole land is going to be like kind of rock. You know what I mean? Like mountains and that really.
I like how this stuff is built into the rock, kind of like Cars Land,
and kind of does capture the feeling of like a cantina town in Star Wars,
like a plant that's been converted into like a place that's kind of a livable place.
Yeah, and I'm glad you guys mentioned the fact that the buildings are kind of built into the rock work, because that's absolutely like a big part of the design motif that kind of caught my eye as we're going through this. Yeah. This land is going to have 2 attractions. It's going to have the Millennium Falcon simulator thing where you're going to be able to fly the Millennium Falcon. And
nice.
I still to this day I'm very skeptical about that, because I have no idea like if they actually want to make it a real interactive experience. How the fuck are they going to do that from a crowd control point of view? I don't get it.
In the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon, like remember the group shots, and it's like it's Luke, Obi-Wan, Han, and Chewie. It's like like Fort Basil in the cockpit instead of like being like the sole driver.
I mean, I get that, but if the whole gimmick is you piloting the Millennium Falcon, then you're gonna have like.
They could do it like a similar way to Star Tours, like with various scenarios and like people work together and all that. I guess.
I just can't.
I'm saying maybe it's not a singular pilot, but then again, I don't know if it's official to say you actually pilot or you're in the cockpit.
Or they could
no,
do it like,
I mean, based on all the announcements I've heard, this is supposed to be like supposedly like one of the most interactive Disney experiences ever, and it's supposedly supposed to give you a feeling like you're actually piloting the thing.
It would be kind of cool if you're in Diction.
I'm sorry, Jacob. You sound like you're desperately trying to say something. Go ahead.
What they could do, like they kind of do something similar to what they do in probably the Flight of Passage, where like it's basically the same thing, but like segmented into like different areas where they like experience the same ride.
I could see that.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Like they have different, the ride is divvied up into different sections. But
again, if it's everyone in the same theater looking at the same screen, then how the hell are you going to get the experience of like feeling like you're in control? Though,
let me throw this at you. Imagine this. Imagine this, you're in different sections of Millennium Falcon. Like you have like the tail gunner, which basically you're firing the weapons in like one version of the ride, depends like which section you get to, or like you're piloting it, you're shooting at stuff, or you're you're kind of like in the midst of it while battles. You can see through like the windows or something.
Even if you have like 5 different jobs, like 5 different positions, it's still going to be a capacity nightmare.
Well, we'll see how that goes.
Anyways, the ride I'm by far more excited about than the Millennium Falcon ride is the Battle Escape ride. And I'm actually not even really sure what the exterior of it is going to be. It might be. Let me see if I. Oh, by the way, I love that rock work. That kind of like you're going underground to get into the land, supposedly. If I were to take a guess about where the Battle Escape attraction is going to be, I would say like maybe that fortress thing with that tower right there.
That'd be nice.
And so basically the Battle Escape is going to be a trackless dark ride. And the cool thing I love about the ride vehicles is they actually showed off a model of what the ride vehicle is going to look like. And it's going to be an 8-person ride vehicles for, 2 rows of 4. And there's actually going to be an onboard droid on each of the ride vehicles, like an R2-D2 style droid.
Well, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Like a fully animatronic. So that's going to be really cool. Yeah. And Battle Escape is basically going to be you escaping the First Order. There's going to be a ton of Stormtrooper animatronics. I've heard somewhere like something like 200 Stormtrooper animatronics, something like that. Yeah, there's going to be a ton of them. So that's definitely, obviously the Millennium Falcon ride is going to rely on simulator and screens, obviously, but Battle Escape is definitely going to be a physical attraction, which I'm psyched for.
Yeah.
The main meat of the land, though, probably what's going to be even more exciting than either of the 2 attractions is going to be the immersiveness of the land. Now, I will admit, obviously the crowd control situation is going to be bad, but apparently this is going to feel like a totally lived-in world. Like, you're not going to feel like, like, the closest thing I think Disney's come to doing this is with Cars Land, Where when you're in Cars Land, like you basically feel like you are in Radiator Springs. You know what I mean? But I think this is going to be a step above Cars Land because we're going to be seeing alien creatures. We're going to be seeing droids just wandering around on the street. We're going to be seeing stormtroopers patrolling the area. We're going to be seeing vendors. You know, it's going to be like it's going to feel like we're walking around the Star Wars universe and having a Star Wars adventure. As I said, the main thing. What?
I'm trying to keep bringing this up, and I'm just imagining like C-3PO walking around and like getting trampled by people.
Oh God!
like kind of like Benny Hill, but with C-3PO.
Like that sounds like a really peaceful experience, you know, just having these characters walking around, but they're like trying to move like.
No, I hear you. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if there was. In fact, I'm 99.9% sure that there's going to be a queue just to get into the land, and they're going to put a cap on the number of people in the land at any one point.
That'd be nice.
Like you might have to wait an hour to get into it, or like get a fast pass for it or something. You know what I mean? Just to get into the land. But having said that, as I said, just the experience of walking around the land in itself is like an attraction.
That would definitely, them doing that, putting a queue to get inside the land itself, that would definitely help retain, you know, the land.
I would honestly be shocked if that didn't happen.
And I have two questions.
Okay.
One, is it still attached to Hollywood Studios? Because I could have sworn I saw which way the construction was.
It is. I believe this model is specifically the Disneyland version, but yes, it is still attached to Hollywood Studios. In fact, I've heard rumors that the one in Hollywood Studios is going to lead to a fifth gate in Disney World that's entirely themed around Star Wars.
Oh.
When I say fifth gate, I mean like fifth theme park.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
That's just the rumor, the word on the street.
I can't wait to see Kevin Smith's gone.
The other question I had was, like speaking of vendors and stuff, like what kind of other stuff did they talk about there? Like, would they like reveal like any like divulge any like kind of restaurants or shops or anything?
Not necessarily. One of the no-brainer things that they're definitely going to do that's been announced is blue milk, obviously.
Yeah.
I just want a blue milk shake. That's what I want.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Right?
Oh, I want one too. Yes.
You're just going to try to get excited.
I didn't even think of that. That's brilliant. The blue milkshake.
Yeah,
yes.
The blue milkshake. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Now that you say that, I'm picturing it's like a Blue Moon, you know, the ice cream flavor. Yeah, like that, except in a milkshake. That sounds really good, actually.
I drink your blue milkshake.
Imagine what other funds that you could have. Imagine just like almost like an ice cream parlor there. You could have like a first order sundae.
Or they have like a meal like where you can order Luke's Dagobah. Like, you know.
Okay, I just all I want is to eat a Mog Calamari claw.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You could have seafood, and it'd be horrifying because we have Admiral Akbar.
It would be horrifying, but
you did. Hey, little Timmy, little Susie, you just ate Admiral Akbar. I hope you're happy and not traumatized at all.
Okay, to be fair, Admiral Akbar is far from the only Mon Calamari in the Star Wars universe.
I'm saying you've eaten your hero, which you don't know if you ate him, but I'm saying there's a good chance of it.
Traumatizing children since 1928.
I'll tell you this though, I know who else would appreciate the blue milk. Kevin Smith. I'm sure he's going to get a kick out of this thing because you know he's going to be visiting this land at some point.
Oh God, yeah.
The whole land of Star Wars.
He'd probably be one of the first passengers.
Dragon, Kevin Smith's in LA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he'll definitely be.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The Avatar. Oh, by the way, I tell you, he went on the Avatar thing. He had a really good time with it. He has a really great story about going on it.
Oh, cool. Which podcast does he do this on?
I think they put it out on YouTube so you can just watch the discussion on it's on Hollywood Babylon. But I mean specifically they pulled like that section of it out it's on YouTube. It's on the Kevin Smith channel. Anyway.
So yeah, I mean, just like I say, guys, I keep going back to this, but the rock work just looks absolutely incredible. The rock work in Cars Land is incredible too. The rock work in Cars Land is super naturalistic, and it just feels like you're in the middle of like the California desert or something like that. But
Yeah,
Disney
no.
knows their rocks.
No, what about this big background behind it?
I think that is to just show what the planet would look like in like a live action movie kind of form.
Okay.
Like
Because
it's not meant to visually represent like more of the land. It's more kind of just a visual cue of what it would look like.
Like part of the model.
It's honestly a huge selling point for me. Just that whole just green area, but we're not getting any of that really, except trees.
Maybe they could use like a forced perspective kind of thing to make it work.
What do you think? What do you think's better? Just having the land as it exists, or having in the very distance, just having like like a mural or something of that to suggest?
I think Jacob hit the nail on the head. Like a forced perspective. Like in Toontown, they have those mountains with letters on them.
I could see them, like, keep in mind, this model is not, like, definitively, like, 1,000% exactly how it's going to look in real life.
100%. Well, I don't know if I go to 1,000 if we just need 100%.
Shut up. Anyways. Who's on 5th?
Yes.
Some dope who can't remember a joke. Anyway.
Okay. I mean, Ezra, if you look at it, like, like in this area, there are quite a few trees. It's a big model. I just think, I just think with the rock work itself, it's going to be more.
It looks like a cross between Endor and Tatooine almost.
I agree with that, yeah.
Which I love. I mean, I love Endor.
I mean, that is a good choice for them to kind of combine those two aesthetics because those are two of the most well-known Star Wars planets. If I'm gonna guess based on I'm gonna guess that what we're seeing in that backdrop, kind of that backdrop thing is we're seeing the perspective of the skyline of the land. So like all the peaks of the different the different mountains and stuff through the trees. So I still definitely think there are going to be a lot of very naturalistic. And one of the other things I've heard is that there's going to be like something like 10 waterfalls or something like that.
Damn.
Like a crazy amount of waterfalls, which has me stoked.
I know there's really no way to do this, but boy, I love those two moons up there.
Oh, I know, right? Oh God. I don't know. With Disney and projection effects, I honestly think they could find a way.
And from the looks of things, if that's truly like the kind of scale they're going for, it looks like they have like a lot of ideas for like shops and
no doubt.
shops, restaurants, and other kind of merchandise in mind. Like franchise, product.
Product.
Moving on.
Okay, you know what movie is going to basically be this movie exists basically to sell a product, but it still sounds awesome. Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet, which is basically going to be an advertisement for the Disney, what is it? I forget the Disney, Jacob, do you know?
I have no idea, like the Oh My Disney website?
Oh My Disney, that's it. Oh My Disney, thank you.
Are you sure that's like going to be a big thing or just a small part?
That's what I'm saying. It sounds like a small gag for me, to be honest.
From what I mean, that's the clip that they advertise is the Oh My Disney section, and I just need you guys to understand the awesomeness of the Oh My Disney thing.
Of course.
Yeah.
They have basically what we saw is a scene with Ralph and Vanellope interacting with all the Disney princesses, and guess which Disney character is their handler? C-3PO.
Oh, get out of here. Are you serious?
I'm serious.
How did they do that?
C-3PO.
Like animated?
Yeah, animated, yeah.
Oh.
C-3PO is the princess handler.
Oh, yeah, it makes so much sense.
Yeah, it does. It totally does.
Oh, yeah.
It's awesome. All right.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, that's pretty clever.
That's
right. And apparently, guys, this, because I've got to admit, Adventure Blue Dude was the first person to kind of bring it to my attention, this whole premise of, like, the Disney website and everything. And at first, I just straight up did not believe him. I was like, he's got to be joking. He's got to be joking. And then the more I think about it, and what I hear of the actual clip, it sounds like the clip went over really well. Like, it could be something that was just completely, like, cynically corporate, you know what I mean? But it's not. Like, people are really, really eating it up. Like this is like the highlight of the whole day. So
if I were to guess what they're going to do with it,
yeah.
And honestly, if you think about it, you have all those different video game characters, those fictional video game characters. So why wouldn't Disney characters exist in this world? You know?
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
I just hope they don't stray away from the video game characters, though.
Yeah,
I mean, they could like revisit the idea where Ralph had to go to like the relaxation game that was deleted from the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
They got like reference that in a way, like a run, like a, you know.
As for your guys' question of if this is going to be like the main plot or not, I honestly don't know. Like, realistically, I would think it wouldn't be.
What?
The main plot.
I'm checking because I'm checking the wiki. They're listed as cameos.
Yeah.
Right.
If I were to guess what they're going to do with it, I'd guess that it'll be like a reoccurring gag where when Ralph like hits the internet, he's going to like say, "Oh, look, and it's Oh My Disney." He's like, "What the heck's Oh My Disney?" Based on that clip, it sounds like Vanellope's.
That's going to be like the ultimate fourth wall break in any Disney movie.
Well, yeah, and most likely it's going to get us.
It's going to be. Think about it. It's going to be so surreal seeing the word Disney and like the Disney logo in a Disney movie, like in the context of a Disney movie. That's going to be so weird. Go ahead.
What if they got into the opening? The opening castle logo.
Oh my God! Yes, yes. Oh, I'm getting excited. Oh, that's great.
Oh, you could definitely do that at the end. There's like a post-credit thing where basically someone's still stuck in the castle.
Oh my God!
There's like, can someone get? Where's the exit?
Ralph accidentally knocks down the castle.
Pixie says, "I'm on it."
Well,
that could literally be like the start of the movie, is that they have the Disney castle, but then Ralph Ralph is like climbing on it, and then you just pick up from the logo. Like the film could start from the logo.
Exactly.
Almost like Enchanted.
Right,
well,
right.
Based on the description of that clip,
or the Jungle Book, but yeah.
Go ahead. Too, yeah.
Based on the description of the clip, it sounds like at some point Vanellope's going to be kind of somehow. Once the Wi-Fi is added to the arcade, which that's the only plot point we really know about. There's going to be Wi-Fi added to the arcade, which basically allows us to go into the internet, which of course allows for a variety of locations, which could lead to Vanellope ending up in the with the other princesses because she technically is.
I actually really like this from a meta perspective, where it's always sort of bothered me. Okay, like
here's something big.
The Super Carlin brothers made this whole. My turning point with the Super Carlin brothers was when they made a video like, "Hey, Dory should totally be a Disney princess." I'm like, no, she totally shouldn't. But Vanellope totally should. I totally think Vanellope should be in the Disney princess canon.
Well, anyway, with that is that we also have a nice little. Here's another kind of big crossover and possibility. Reportedly, I looked at this. I looked it up briefly a while ago once we kind of talked about it, but I think Merida was also among the ranks of the princesses, which means you're going to have a Pixar character in a Disney film.
Oh, God, okay.
And again, possibly others too, depending how far this Oh My Disney goes. With the Disney Pixar, and that'd be kind of a nice kind of crossover.
What if they got into like a Buzz Lightyear video game?
That would be amazing, and I would take my money now. Just take all my money now.
What if Zurg is one of the main villains of
all right, let's let it be.
It'd be kind of weird that they bring a Pixar character into this.
Okay, I have 3 words that are my concern for this movie, all right? 3 words. 3 simple words.
Are they the same word or are they different?
No, they're different words. They're different words.
Go on.
Are they Oh My Disney?
No. The, word number 1, the, word number 2, emoji, word number 3, movie.
Oh, God.
It won't go that bad. I think emoji is going to be the bad version of what this.
I know emoji is going to be the bad version, but I'm just worried that people are going to compare it though.
Well, again, it's based on familiarity record, Ralph, which people are going to be like, okay, that's good.
There's definitely going to be people who are going to compare it, but I think it's going to prove itself. I mean, who knows? It could.
I mean, it's kind of like how I'm worried that Coco is going to be like, people are going to say that it's just a ripoff of Kubo because of the guitar.
No, it wouldn't be Kubo. It'd be more Book of Life.
Yeah, that's the That's the one.
No, I mean, I literally heard Monkey. Like, Monkey hasn't watched the trailers for Coco or anything, but he's like worried about the guitar because of Kubo.
Yeah, Coco, Kubo, guitar similarities. Yeah, I
Mhm,
definitely
mhm.
see
Book,
that.
and Book of
Believe
Life.
me, there's going to be a far more. I understand. I understand. I think it's going to be really for the big Kubo fans out there. Which I don't know. I mean, everyone's smart to like Kubo, but I think Book of Life's more like the only other Day of the Dead anime movie that's out there.
Here's the thing: people actually saw Kubo.
Well, people saw Book of Life as well. I mean, that's the one that airs. I'm not saying like it's the one they saw in theaters like Kubo. I'm saying that's the one like airs on TV or on demand constantly. People end up have watched. That's the one they show their kids.
I haven't seen it. Monkey hasn't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
Exactly. Thank you, guys. And all four of us are like huge animation fans, and we've none of the four.
I'm saying
people
you
have
chose
seen
not
it.
to watch it though. I'm just saying it's a thing parents like kind of show their kids without really caring about it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
Well, anyways, I'm saying like the thing could we could have Oh My Disney segments where basically we'll start off like the Vanellope thing, be the plot origin of it, then it could come back here and there and just be like, oh yeah, that's come back, which would solve their problem for the first movie where they didn't really spend enough time in the different lands. Basically if they're going to learn anything from the first movie, it's going to be they're going to go to a whole bunch of different lands instead of just primarily two.
Sure.
So,
yeah. All right. Yeah. I mean, as I said, I like it's surprising to me, but yeah, this was kind of the highlight of D23. I almost said the highlight of Comic-Con.
Well, it's Disney's Comic-Con.
Right. Okay. Should we move on to the next piece of news?
Yeah.
Okay, so Toy Story 4 is getting a new director. This is, of course, kind of like a lead into the bigger Pixar news that we got today.
Well, technically not a new director.
You're right. Toy Story 4 lost a director.
And John Lasseter, everyone. John Lasseter is apparently no longer the director of Toy Story 4.
Yeah.
It's a little disappointing because it'd be really neat to see what he would have done with it. It's been a while since he's touched Toy Story, see kind of what if he still had or not with Toy Story.
Dragon was also bringing up that it'd be kind of an interesting sort of like, like comeback story for Lasseter after Cars 2.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Up for Cars 2. Anyway.
Well, again, let's not put all of Cars 2 on Lasseter again. A lot of directing, it's like a good dinosaur situation. They had to switch directors, so it's not.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Anyway,
so Josh Cooley, anyone know anything about this guy? He was a co-director with Lasseter.
I can explain a bit for him. I mean, I'm not a big expert on him, but I do know. Cooley was like he's worked for them for a while, but he's mainly known for being the head of story for one of the heads of story for the Pete Docter film Inside Out.
Oh, okay.
he's also been the board artist on for a lot of films. He's worked ever since Incredibles, Cars, Ratatouille, Up. He did the short, He directed the short George and AJ.
And also the Inside Out short for Wiley's First Date.
So that's his directing experience, and the rest of it's just pretty much he's been a story man and a bit of a writer here and there. So this is going to be his first major directorial debut.
Kind of like how Lee Unkrich for Toy Story 3.
Yeah, Lee Unkrich worked his way up from editor and then co-director, then the director, and he did an excellent job with it. And of course, now he has an original film with Coco.
I'm upset that John Lasseter is stepping down from the project, but good for this guy. I mean,
this guy seems
first
like
movie is Toy Story 4. Good for him.
I mean, it shows how much trust they're placing him with this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, again, we saw what happened with Dave Mullins and Lou. I mean, again, these directors, they'll make their marks, and you want to see them kind of grab the award and kind of run with it.
And plus, it's not like John Lasseter's probably not involved with the movie anymore. I mean, sure, he's like he still co-wrote the story and was obviously the executive producer and everything.
I mean, the original team is still working on it, but I'm sorry, Sandy, what?
Sandy.
Yeah, Sandy, go ahead.
I mean, I just meant directing-wise, stepping down from the directing role.
Yeah. Now I know the original team kind of founded it, but they're still involved highly. But also Rashida Jones is writing this, and there was another writer too. It's Rashida Jones and someone else.
And Will McCormick.
Right, McCormick. And I'm sure Andrew Stan is going to oversee the script at some level, because he's just one of the great writers of the original. So.
Like it's basically his story treatment that like Will McCormick and Rashida Jones are basing it off of.
Yeah, of course, the Brain Trust is going to give some guidance. Anyway, yeah.
I honestly don't care about Toy Story 4 right now. I just want to get into the next topic.
Yeah, the more exciting of the two.
Oh, it's not exciting for me at all.
Well, it's
the opposite of exciting. It's
Let's get on with it, Tiki.
The Incredibles 2 is picking up right where the first film left off. And
1 minute after the first film.
Yes.
So you're saying that for the past 13 years, okay, for the past 4 years, right? Like ever since the 10-year mark of The Incredibles, you're saying like I've had all these ideas in my head of like the aged version of the characters. And okay, my problem with this is that this is such a wasted opportunity. Such a wasted opportunity. Because Disney should be wise enough to know that it's a Toy Story 3 situation they have on their hands. It's been a decade between movies. The kids who grew up with The Incredibles are now young adults. You age Violet and Dash up 10 years, they will be the same age as the kids who were fans of the original when it first came out.
Technically, Violet would be around in her 20s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I said 20s. But
yeah, I know, but go ahead, sorry.
To me, this is just a betrayal. It's pure creative betrayal. They had the chance.
You're overblowing this.
They had the chance to do something truly unique and truly really interesting and evolve the characters, and instead this is basically, for my money, going to be a video game movie. This is basically going to be like The Incredibles: Rise of the Underminer, the movie. And I kind of makes me sick. Kind of makes me sick a little bit, just like how big of a disappointment this is.
TK, I think you're
smallest violin.
TK, I think your idea here of fast forwarding 10, 15 years ahead, I think that's a great idea. I wish they would do that, but in all honesty, I think they know what they're doing. I think Brad Bird knows what he's doing. He knows the story. He knows the characters. He knows.
I don't think Brad Bird knows what he's doing, because if Brad Bird knew what he was doing, he'd age the characters.
Okay, first of all, come on. What has Bird steered you wrong?
I think you've been getting your hopes up a little bit too much.
There's time for everything.
Here's the thing, though. This is kind of like here's the thing, though. People there are critics that claim to know the characters, but do you know who knows the characters better? The people who created them.
Yeah.
We're literally not going to get a chance to evolve the characters, and that just literally makes me want to goddamn punch myself in the face out of frustration.
Come on, don't kill me. They're going to.
Just because it takes place shortly after the.
Okay, what fucking development did we get out of any of the goddamn piece of shit characters in Finding Dory? What fucking development at all do we get out?
Nobody found her parents.
Besides the title character.
She got over her.
Exactly the same. Emo is exactly the same. Crush is exactly the same. The Tank Game is exactly the same. They're going to be static as fuck characters. There's going to be no evolution to these goddamn fucking characters.
Tiki.
I'm getting upset. I'm legit.
Amp it down.
Tiki, I'm trying to say something here.
Okay.
Just because it takes place a minute and just
a minute. Yeah, because God knows how much character development went down in that minute.
Gee.
All right.
So much emotional growth and development took place between them.
I know, but they just released the first information on it. Tiki, this is the first story information we're getting. Okay, you don't know what's coming next. Okay.
What I'm trying to say is, even though he said it starts a minute after it doesn't mean there won't be any kind of noticeable time skip throughout the movie itself, and that also doesn't necessarily mean.
No, you're wrong about that, Jacob. They confirmed that there wasn't going to be a time skip.
Maybe not a huge time skip that
And what I'm saying is that also doesn't necessarily mean there won't be any evolution of these characters.
And that doesn't mean we're not getting a third movie with the idea you have in mind.
But this is a perfect time to do the idea I had in mind. They've blown it. They ruined it.
I still see story potential in this idea.
Brad Bird. Yeah, Brad Bird was like, I wonder how I can piss off Tiki.
It's not just me who's pissing off and disappointing. It's Pixar fans in general. I'm disappointed in Pixar in general. I really am.
No, you had your hopes gotten up on this movie. You wanted this one thing, and because they're not doing this one thing, you're just having a tantrum over it. That's what you're doing.
No. To me, it just seems like a shallow cash grab.
Oh, Tiki, you did get your hopes up pretty high.
As far as I'm concerned, if they're not going to do jack shit with the characters, if they're not going to fucking evolve the characters, then why even have the fucking
There's no telling that they're not going to do that.
I think Ezra knows what I'm talking about here. One of our fellow friends is a huge fan of The Incredibles. And even he's excited for this. I mean, you know what I'm talking about, Stanley. I mean, Stanley.
I know. It's the key is just to not get your hopes up on things that aren't confirmed.
Well, I sure as fuck am. I'm not getting my hopes up for this movie now. That's for damn sure. I think this movie's gonna fucking suck. I think this movie's gonna be disposable.
But what if it doesn't suck? What if you're completely wrong and you're getting angry for nothing?
Then I'll admit I'm getting angry for nothing.
We know next to nothing about this movie.
Yeah, except it's going to be based on a fucking video game.
Okay, look, the video game thing is unfortunate. Yes, all right? But looking past the other minor thing is going to be like an opening sequence, all right? They're not going to go the path of the video game, which is going to take up the whole movie. It's not. Here's what I think what they're going to do is like it's going to be adjusting to the life, basically kind of this new working the new superhero life into the new rekindled superhero life into suburbia. So now they're kind of adjusting to these new roles. Elastigirl was very against becoming a superhero again. She's going to be getting into it, which is why we're going to have some focus on her in the story.
And I will admit the one thing I am optimistic about with this is the focus on Elastigirl.
Yeah, and Bob's going to be
the single solitary thing that I am actually excited about.
We're going to go forward Bob's story, and he's going to be more invested in the family life, and that's why he's kind of stuck on babysitting dude from what's been reported. The thing that occurred to me I didn't really think of is that, well, yeah, if they, So
in my version, and my idea, Bob Parr would have been like on the verge of retirement and dealing with his daughter dating a supervillain, but no.
So your idea was cliche? Movie?
No, Jacob, my idea was subverting cliches like all Pixar movies do. Pixar, like back from the beginning, Pixar has always taken cliche stories and made them fresh and original.
Well,
Bug's Life was Seven Samurai.
But the idea never mind.
Guys, what it all rounds up to in the end is that we just got the first information, literally the first information aside from the release date, just like yesterday.
Okay, and Ezra, like you said, I mean, you did bring up the point, like, yeah, maybe for The Incredibles 3, they can... It's going to be too late now. They had the perfect opportunity to actually capitalize on the nostalgia and do the whole, like... Because by the time The Incredibles 3 comes out, I'm probably going to be like 30 or older, and they can't do that time jump and have it mean as much to me.
Yeah, here's the question, though. What does it mean to Brad Bird and Pixar?
Product. That's what it
frankly,
means.
I don't agree with that because Pixar has never been about...
Watch your words, Sandy.
Dragon, can you back me up on this?
Pixar has been about quality products they have.
Cars 3. Cars 2. Not Cars 3. Cars 2. Cars 2.
Again, a little bit of a push from Disney, but still, that was not intended to be anything. It wasn't intended to be the next Toy Story or the next Incredibles. It was just a summer action. It was a summer. What you're saying with the Seven Samurai things, though, it's a nod to the summer spy movie. That's what it was. Just a fun little testing of the. Basically, it's an extended short. That's what the movie is. It's a fun little romp.
Like I said, I virtually see no. Can you guys at least help me understand how they even can possibly develop these characters if we're not going to have a time jump?
Just lay it out for
at
you.
all.
Again, they can
through plot, well-written storytelling, and the environment.
Like Spider-Man 2, it's adjusting to a new status quo. It's moving forward in the story. Now that again we've gotten the origin out of the way. We've seen the history of this world. Again, we can see what it's like to get back into the swing of things for someone who's denied their past for many years, now accepting it. Someone who's not been the best father on the path to become a better father. And again, who knows? What else they have in store? I'm saying that's all the details we have to work off of right now. I'm saying there's still potential. I put my faith in Brad Bird.
Me too. I put my faith in Pixar. I put my faith in John Lasseter.
I put my faith in good storytelling, and this doesn't sound like a good story to me.
And who's one of the best storytellers at Pixar? Who's one of them?
Bird.
You don't even know the story. We just know details about what's going to happen. We don't know the story yet.
Yeah, exactly.
The Underminer could get killed off.
If the Underminer is the main villain, I'm gonna fucking shoot myself.
I do not think the Underminer is going to be the main villain.
Because the Underminer is a gag. That is all he is a
That's
gag.
That's what it'll be at the opening. It'll be like, hey, remember that guy? A little opening scene.
And also like a way to have John Ratzenberger back.
Guys, Tiki, remember guys, remember the first film? They had that whole Glory Days section, and then they jumped forward 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, Ezra, it's been confirmed that that's not happening.
Well,
it's been confirmed that the whole story is going to fucking take place without the characters aging.
That doesn't mean they can't do something similar. All right? They're playing with us right now. That's what they're doing. I promise you the Underminer is not going to be the main villain.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that was ever the intention. They probably would have confirmed it by...
I'm going to fucking shoot myself in the face if he ends up being the main villain.
That's an overreaction.
Come on. Who's the guy who voices him? John
Ratzenberger.
Yeah, John Ratzenberger. He never has huge roles in movies. He has little, side roles and, like P.T. Flea and, Ham and stuff like that. He never has these big, lead character roles. I do not.
All right, I will say this much, guys. I will say this much. The success of The Incredibles 2, for me personally, completely hinges on if they can get a good villain or not.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the one thing for me that can save the story, is a very good villain.
We don't know the story though, Tiki.
Okay, that's the one thing that can save the terrible creative decision to not flash forward.
You mean the creative decision?
No, I mean the terrible creative decision.
That's the one thing that can save on this film.
You know what? You see this notebook? This notebook is just picture this notebook as like possibility, like story possibility for aging. Disney's just like, nope. Just gonna throw all this possibility just out the window. It's gonna throw it out. It's gonna toss it out. Bye possibilities.
Sorry, where's your Oscar? Where's your Oscar nomination?
Oh my god.
Where's your Oscar win? Twice. Where's your
We don't know the story. We don't know the story. And they are playing with us, okay? They are playing with us.
All right. I'm so upset.
You are a lot more upset than I thought you'd be.
I'm so upset. I'm like, it's betrayal for me. It's literally like, as a Pixar fan, I feel betrayed. I feel completely betrayed.
I'm reminded of a Weird Al song right now called First World Problems.
Right. Playing the world small is
because you got your expectations set in places that...
I got my expectations set that they'd actually do the logical thing when it comes to having the most story potential. Yeah, you're right. I did.
Been done before. Don't want to be compared to Toy Story 3, possibly.
You know what you want, and they didn't do what you want, so now you're upset.
Yeah, I'm upset that I'm not going to get to see the characters that I grew up with in a different light and in a different time period. I'm
didn't go with the expected play. Sue them.
Tiki, who knows? Maybe the film could end with a time hop. Maybe, that's not going to be the entire film, but we could get a section of the film where there is a time hop. In fact, I think that'd be super cool if we got a time hop somewhere in the film, like, in the third act, where the supervillain has been around for all this time and they're still trying to fight him.
I like that idea, Sandy. I just don't. I doubt it'll happen. I like the idea, though. So yeah, I mean, you guys can call me an asshole, you can call me a negative Nancy, whatever. The fact of the matter is, I know good story potential when I see it, and they just, like I said, they just completely threw away good story potential.
Do you know who else? I know who else sees good story potential. Brad Bird.
Brad Bird hasn't even made a movie since Ratatouille. Who's to say he hasn't lost his touch?
Tomorrowland.
Mission Impossible.
Yes.
I mean, animated movie.
Well, because he's been working on this for that many years. He's been developing this for that many years.
And Tomorrowland's not exactly the best example to cite.
Look what Mission Impossible goes.
I could literally give two flying fucks about Mission Impossible. I don't care how well directed it is. Mission Impossible is the most fucking boring franchise in the world to me.
Have you even seen Ghost Protocol?
No, I literally the only Mission Impossible movie I've seen is 3. And I only saw that for Philip Seymour Hoffman, and I can't remember a damn thing about 3 besides Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Ghost Protocol basically reinvigorated the franchise.
It is fun.
Yeah, so I've heard. I could care less about action movies, though. I'm just one of those people. Like you don't want an action movie.
You don't want an action movie, yet you want The Incredibles 2, which is an action movie.
Shake up the whole reason why I'm upset about The Incredibles 2 is that it feels like the direction they're going in with it is going to be less character study and more straight up action movie, whereas the direction I wanted to go with it was more character study. So that is why I'm upset.
Brad Bird has been working on this for a very long time. You know, he's had a very long time since the first one came out and he got all that glorious feedback from it. He's been working on this for a very long time. And he is a hardcore director.
I'm honestly cynical. I'm a cynical enough asshole to think that Disney straight up forced his hand to not do the flash forward.
Yeah, I don't really think so.
Like, Disney could just probably say to him, like, we want to market this movie, and if the characters look completely different, we're not going to be able to market it.
Now, Disney wants costume characters. They don't care if it's the same one or not. With Brad Bird, again, they're also going to realize, hey, we don't want to mess with the guy who made the first ones. We'll let him do what he wants.
I don't know. To tell you the truth, after the Lord and Miller situation, I have no faith in any Disney product ever when it comes to like actually letting the director direct. All right.
That was more Lucasfilm though, and besides, if they were going against like what they wanted to do and the vision set in by the Lawrence Kasdan and everything, yeah, I mean, like maybe it was. Who knows? Maybe it was all them. Like,
honestly, I'm really looking forward to seeing these characters just as they appeared at the end of the last movie.
The only reason I'm sorry, Sandy, continue.
That's basically. I'm really looking forward to seeing them on the big screen again, looking the same way they did before.
And I was actually looking forward to seeing the characters evolve.
Yeah, the thing that didn't occur to me, and that's the reason I just kind of like saw no reason why not to do the age thing. Is I was thinking, well, yeah, I mean, obviously the actors have aged, and they can go with.
Yeah, that's another thing. They're going to have to recast Dash.
That's comparatively. I mean, it's not the worst thing. Again, the original actor on Dash was good, yes, but I'm just saying again, if they can find a good match for him, I completely forgot that. Yeah, technically they don't have to really recast. I mean, not counting Jack. Again, they might go to a toddler Jack. It's unclear. Well, I mean, all right. Well, I mean, again, they might. I assume there's going to be at least a couple. I'm not saying like a full 10 years or so. I'm saying like at least like maybe a year, maybe a few months down the line. Regardless, after the initial.
I literally think the whole film is just going to be like, it's going to be the Underminer fight at the beginning. It's just going to be like, okay, now fucking no time jump at all.
You can have characters evolve without them having to grow up or get older.
Yeah, throughout the movie, I wanted them to be evolved from the start of the movie.
Yeah, but think about it. If we did but think about it from this perspective. If we did that, we would have missed their growth instead of experiencing it.
Okay, did we really want to see Andy's awkward teenage years? Is that really something that anyone was clamoring for?
And Andy's a regular kid. He's not a superhero, okay?
Well, again, that's what their story is about. Like what. They set up that story. They didn't need to tell the intermediary story for that one. They set up the story of, what's going to happen when Andy goes off to college, which is the idea brought by the prospector in Toy Story 2, which, boys say, I'm going to watch it happen. And watching it happen is just going to get like a little old. We want to get to the end point, actually the fear being realized. That's the point of that story. The point of The Incredibles is like, hey, the next adventure, we're going to start off with the next adventure, we're going to keep it going.
And honestly, at the end of The Incredibles 2, there were still things for the characters to learn. And I think that doing this in the way they're going now, the direction they're going now, is you can have those characters learn the things they didn't in the first film.
So you're basically saying that this movie basically exists to fill in the gaps of the first movie?
No, I'm saying it exists to expand the first movie and to give us more insight in the characters and to watch them, as you say, evolve. Even if it's not them getting older.
Well, clearly I'm not the popular guy in the room right now. Like I said, it's less about me not having faith in the story that they do have, and it's more about me just being crestfallen that they didn't take the opportunity to, it's really just, like I said, it's just wasted potential. It's just they just completely like threw out potential for me, which is what I have a big problem with. It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, but there are things that you're missing that they realized. I mean, no one knows the characters better than the creators, as Jacob said.
I'm just going to be straight up here, guys. I'm not looking forward to this movie at all. All
right. If you're not willing to give it, a chance.
We barely know anything about it to begin with. I mean, if you basically, I've heard you like criticize people like judging things before they're even seen. Yet now you're even judging something just based on a story snippet.
I know, and this isn't even the full story. This is not a synopsis of the story or plot elements or any.
Or a trailer.
We literally just got this information yesterday.
The trailer is going to show us so much because we're going to literally see the exact same characters looking exactly the same.
All I'm pointing out is you're kind of being a hypocrite here.
I know. I would understand if you waited a few months and we got more information and it was then you didn't want to see the film or weren't looking forward to it. But now we just get this information and you're completely judging just by, the first few details we get of the actual movie. I mean, if you're a true fan of this movie, you'd be willing to give it a chance, no matter how dark things may look. I mean, that's the way I look at it. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the first film. I know Dragon is. I know Jacob is.
I was willing to give it a chance when I didn't think that Brad Bird was just being Disney's puppet.
See, come on, that's uncalled for.
It is.
I said we don't know anything. Like, for all we know, this was his intention all along. I know he probably wouldn't say that he was Disney's puppet, but I highly doubt. If you've noticed, they've been really trusting of their story department lately, and I highly doubt that they'd really interfere with the story Brad Bird wanted to tell.
And Pixar has done this before, where they release details on a film and it looks like it's going to be horrible, but then it ends up being a huge box office success.
I'm not even saying it's going to be horrible. I'm really not saying that. I know it sounds like I'm saying that, but
you basically did say it. You basically said the film's going to suck.
The film's going to suck, and I'm not looking forward to it.
No, I said I'm not looking forward to it. I didn't say it was going to suck.
Yeah, you kind of did.
Well, we can go to the videotape later.
I know.
Can we just move on?
All right.
Yeah, we really should.
So, space.
Yeah.
That's a thing that exists.
Yep.
So they shot for this, and optimistic to be like maybe they changed. I'm not going to check it out unless I see like an amazing trailer because I'm only intrigued by the one screenshot they debuted this and the fact that they're just calling it space. Suggests that perhaps maybe they get their game together and actually kind of focus on the visual of space and maybe something. I don't know. I think if they can grab me with the visual of space, I might be able to be more invested than I would be with planes, which that is Disney kind of cashing out on cards. It's like them not even working Pixar into the fray and just. Yeah, basically, that's them just trying to like, what other things can we do with this? Just still in the universe of this.
To be honest with you, if is Planes canon with the rest of the Cars movies? Do you guys know that?
There's,
I have no idea.
it's not a. Go on, Jay.
I was just saying, I have no idea. I mean, they teased in one of the Cars in one of Mater's shorts, but those are really non-canon as it is.
Because here's my thing: like, if space is canon with the Cars universe, the thing that the thing that fascinates me the most about the Cars movies is the world building. So I would be very intrigued to see like how space would operate in the Cars universe.
And technically, again, just based on that Mater thing that Jay is referencing, because the end of one basically says, "And hey," because there was a Mater tune where Mater learned to be a pilot, and there they introduced the plane characters, and at the end it says, "Yeah, it's so great hanging out with your airplanes." It was a very meta, like, "Hey, check out planes." It was really funny.
Mm-hmm.
And based on that, yeah, I could. I would assume it's in the same universe, but again, it's out of the Pixar hands.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Then we have new details about Coco.
Yeah, I have no idea what these new details are. What do you got?
It's not too much. I'm just gonna read off the article. Give me a sec.
But yeah, looking forward to Coco though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really excited for that. I mean, I'm really intrigued, and like, ever since I was younger, I've always been interested in like Hispanic culture and like the Day of the Dead and all that. And so it's really something that
The one thing that Coco has holding over its head that I like, it's not the film's fault at all. It just kind of sucks. Is the whole Frozen thing?
Honestly, I think that's Disney worrying about it. That's what I think that move is.
Yeah, exactly. And I like with that move, I don't like the fact that Disney doesn't have faith in it. It's super cynical to me.
Yeah, I think it's like they're realizing this is going to be like, it seems to be like really artsy, basically a mark for like on the roadmap for a good movie, but it just seems like, it seems less kind of it doesn't seem marketable to them, so they're trying to make sure people see it. So that's kind of seems to be the logic behind that move. If I were to be a guessing man.
Which like I said, I'm not trying to like blame the movie at all. Of course not, but I don't know. We talked about this before when we talked about Lou, but coming off of something like Lou, which was amazing, and I think everyone agrees one of the best Pixar shorts.
Oh yeah.
To just coming from that to, okay, we're just going to screw all continuity and traditions and just have a fucking Disney short in front of a Pixar films. Cats and dogs are living together. The sky is falling. Pigs are fucking flying.
But to be fair, they did have a Pixar short for a Bolt, so.
Yeah, that's true. And they also had the Small Fry thing in front. I forget what Small Fry was in front of. I know it was a Disney.
I think it was Muppets, actually.
Yeah.
It was.
And then
yeah,
one of the other Muppets, they had Party Central in front.
Okay, so I'm just going to read off the premise, which is essentially like, it's not. Okay, so director Lee Unkrich and co-directed by Adrian Lena.
Uh-huh.
Coco follows young Miguel, who, despite his family's baffling generations-long ban on music, dreams of becoming an accomplished musician like his idol Ernesto de la Cruz, voiced by Benjamin Bratt.
Yeah.
Desperate to prove his talent, Miguel finds himself in the stunning and colorful land of the dead. Following a mysterious chain of events, along the way he meets the charming trickster Hector, and together they set off on an extraordinary journey to unlock the real story behind Miguel's family history. So a lot of stuff that we kind of were predicting, like the fact family has a ban on music, and
yeah, Hector's new. I didn't hear that before.
Hector's definitely the big. I'm gonna pull up an image of the Hector character. He might have been in the trailers, but I'm getting the sense that this guy might be like a Bing Bong type of character that they're intentionally hiding from the trailers.
Yeah, that seems I think it's a safe bet.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, I know there's this based on the trailer. I'm sorry, Jake, go on.
I think we have seen him a little bit before.
They just, I mean, we did see Bing Bong like a little bit in the Inside Out marketing. They just never really focused on him.
I was so worried Bing Bong was going to be the villain when I saw like those glimpses of him. Like, oh boy, like another. Like he looked so harmless, but he's going to be the big bad. And of course, he was fantastically not the big bad.
Okay, so yeah, this is what the trickster looks like. I think it's really interesting. I really like the wording on it, trickster, because that, of course, is like one of the classic like storytelling archetypes of a character is a trickster. So I'm very intrigued about this character. I also just I love the design of this land, of this world. You know what I mean?
It almost reminds me of Corpse Bride. Corpse Bride. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The design of the character here, I'm saying, and the whole color of the entire world, it reminds me a lot of Corpse Bride.
It does. Same here.
Corpse Bride had good animation. I was disappointed by the story in Corpse Bride. I think this is going to have a better story.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying the world looks similar. I'm not saying the story's similar.
Sure. I will admit I am fascinated though by the whole idea of the family heritage and the ban on music. I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah.
Like I said, my concern with this movie is less is the movie going to be good and more like how is the movie going to be perceived by other people. You know what I mean? So, anyways,
yeah, I'm convinced that the family mystery is going to be that he is related to De La Cruz, and and something happened in the past where like he let. I think there was some theory or some synopsis somewhere where I think that was hinted at that's kind of the band somehow has to do with De La Cruz.
Okay, so let's get to the anything else about Coco?
That looks good.
Okay, let's get to the final piece of news for today, something that I think we can all unite in positivity about.
Finally.
I know, right? The Untitled Pixar movie, which, of course, folks, Untitled Pixar movie is, that's just very exciting to me because it's going to be completely fresh, completely new. So
last time we got an Untitled Pixar movie was Inside Out.
And also The Good Dinosaur.
Well, I was about to say technically The Good Dinosaur came out.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I'm saying they were both announced at the same time. I'm just saying,
technically, for a while, it was known as the Untitled Pixar movie about dinosaurs.
Yeah. Point is like those vague untitled, where they have like some descriptor in the thing. That's kind of the hallmark of like intrigue at Pixar.
And honestly, I don't know if this has a descriptor. I think it's just the Untitled Pixar project.
Look at the suburban things. I mean, I think that
yeah, I know. I don't think they officially announced the Untitled Suburban Pixar movie. Anyway, so Monsters University director Dan Scanlon is bringing one of his most personal stories to the big screen with Pixar's next Untitled film. This movie is set in a world of suburban fantasy. We weren't shown much, but a title card displayed a small town skyline complete with street lamps and a water tower. There also happened to be a dragon flying off in the distance. Scanlon's movie will include unicorns, dragons, and a plethora of other beasts that are considered pests to other ordinary folks, like centaurs, trolls, and sprites. Scanlon told the D23 audience that the story was inspired by his father, who passed away when he was an infant. And this is the thing that just really sells me on this movie. It's so intriguing. Scanlon said it was a recording of his father's voice simply saying hi and bye that inspired him to develop the story. Oh my god, that almost gives me chills reading it. So I'm stoked for this thing, guys. I'm stoked. I feel the opposite about this that I feel about The Incredibles. And you know what? I'm just gonna come out and say it right now. I'm being a contrarian asshole for The Incredibles to the camera. All right, I'm kind of playing it up a little bit. So, but yeah, Untitled Pixar project about suburbia. Yeah, the first thing that I think of with this Dragon brought up is Stranger Things, so I'm very intrigued about that.
Essentially, it's said it's kind of suburbia mixed with D&D. It's kind of been the through line description I've seen.
So, all right. Anything else to say about that movie? I mean, it just sounds super intriguing to me. The backstory behind it with the recording of the guy's father, it's just like really sounds like a super personally. You know what it sounds? The thing that it reminds me most of, just based on the premise, is Up. Because when we first heard the premise for Up, we were like, wait a minute. This is like some old guy at a Boy Scout, like
Unfinished love story.
Having an adventure in South America? What? And then look what happened with Up. So, yeah.
Yeah, this blend of like suburbia and just kind of this fantasy element, like right in your backyard, that sounds really interesting. The fact that there's like a personal motivator, definitely like a three you have three winning premises kind of right there mixing together in a seemingly a natural way. And we'll see if it's probably gonna be through a kid's POV point of view of playing D&D somehow, and just I don't know. I think like I like kind of the childlike kind of. Based on these descriptions, again, we don't really know anything about the movie. Just I think based on that, it's gonna be interesting seeing that come to life.
I'm gonna take a wild guess with the premise and say that the story is gonna be kind of like Jumanji style, where the events of the D&D game are coming to light.
I was trying to avoid saying that, but yes.
What I got from it though is like the ordinary folks are like the centaurs, trolls, and sprites, where the others are like other pests and monsters. That's what I kind of got from the way that's worded.
Well, this is directed by the Monsters University guys, so it could just be that it's just a suburban fantasy environment.
Yeah, you know what it could be? Just throw this out there. What if it's I don't know what the connection is between the recording, but again, we'll see. But I'm gonna throw this out there. What if it's the kid's imagination? Like all this fantasy stuff is purely through the kid's imagination.
I could see that.
I could see that.
Maybe not.
And basically, there's a deep-seated reason for it, which would somehow connect to the recording. But I'm saying again, not there being a recording in the movie, but it's whatever the reason behind that would connect to like why he's hallucinating these. Well, not hallucinating. He's very imaginative. Like kind of picturing this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm very intrigued. Very intrigued.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us for day one of our D23 coverage. We will be back tomorrow to cover the live action panel as well as the parks panel. And we will also be doing a full kind of like a retrospective on the 3-day event. Monkey's going to be in there on Sunday, actually. So he'll have some firsthand stories to tell of that. Probably mostly involving him waiting in lines, I'm guessing.
We're also covering video
bring
games.
a chair.
We're also covering video games tomorrow, too.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, folks, with that, have a good night, and I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I don't hate Brad Bird, all right? I'm sorry for calling him Bisbee's puppet. That was out of line, all right? That was totally out of line, and I apologize, all right? I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. It's one of those situations where it's not what I was expecting, so therefore I'm mad at it, but, I'm playing it. I'm playing it up for the cameras, guys. All right, I'm not that much of an asshole. So, all right, have a good night, guys.
Night.
Product.